If you've been wastelanding for 200 years, I'm pretty sure you'd also be max level. This appears to be the case for Cooper Howard. The man plays like he is on PC with all the mods. This ghoul has had 200 years of side quest experience and is only now doing the main story. The final boss better be sweating. And with everything that has transpired, all the explosions, the revelations, and eye-opening monologues to his fellow protagonists, there is one glaring question. How did Cooper Howard survive? Easy. Ghoulification. So for those of you new to the series, you might be curious about this process. Ghoulification is exactly how it sounds. A process of turning a human person into a ghoul. Now, there are obviously a few ways to do this. It looks like what happened to Coop was he survived the nuclear fallout and he woke up as a ghoul. And there are different processes that we'll discuss of in this video. But for now, just keep in mind that ghoulification is a known process in the Fallout universe. What we have to keep in mind is it appears the show is trying to explain the process of becoming feral. We see this in episode 4 when another ghoul is slowly deteriorating. Raj then asks for more vials. This is our first indication that whatever this substance is, it is used to keep ghouls sane. We also see ghouls in some sick trade shop where they are kept organized according to their sanity levels. It's even more disturbing to find out that the merchants, if you want to call them that, had the vials readily available, and instead of just hoarding them, they could have used it to save their ghoul prisoners. But what are you going to do? This is the wasteland. So for the newcomers, there may be some gaps in what you know, and we are going to attempt to fill those gaps. Let's start with ghoulification and what it is. So back to Coop. His ghoulification is truly the only answer to the how he is still alive. And it is this transformation that served as his secret weapon. I don't give a damn about the official stats. There's no way you're telling me his perception is only at a 6. But I digress. What is ghoulification? As most of you have seen in the TV series, it is the overexposure to radiation. So nukes dropping, radiating you is one way. And with that logic, you're pretty much on the right track. The other method is gradual exposure to radiation, and with this it can take years or weeks depending on how much radiation you are exposed to. But I think what the writers tried to emulate with the ghoul is a specific incident found in Fallout 4. There are technically 2 ghouls that survived for 200 plus years in that game, but I want to focus on one in particular. During Nick Valentine's personal quest, you pursue a mobster from the pre-war era who was being hunted by the original Nick. Okay, Nick Valentine is a synth. This thing. And that is a topic for another day. Throughout the quest, you discover that this mobster, Eddie Winter, sealed himself away and transformed into a ghoul in a bid to endure the nuclear devastation. So yay, it is possible to survive if you're willing to trade off some of your smooth skin. Take a listen.
Wanted a cheap death, live forever, so he could come out of that shelter someday into this brave new world. Eddie Winter went and turned himself into a ghoul 200 years before it was fashionable. Hell, he was probably the first one.
Now the next question is, how did this mobster not become a feral ghoul? And to answer this question means delving into possible theories that consequently affect Cooper. How did Cooper not turn feral? And before we talk in more delusional detail, we have to understand that it seems the Fallout TV series is attempting to fix this issue or this question. They do this by creating this yellow mysterious substance, and subsequently they show us a method in which ghouls can remain sane. Thus, this answers the question of how does Coop not go feral? On top of that, there are some things to point out. It is important to note that these things were details before the TV series. That said, here goes. We know that there's no clear indication of how and when ghouls go feral. There's been speculation that all ghouls eventually go feral, and then there's been further speculation regarding how and why it happens. Here are some things that we know for sure. There are ghouls that go feral in the process of turning, never becoming non-feral ghouls. There are ghouls that started out non-feral but turned feral later, and we see this a lot in the show. Possibly due to additional radiation exposure, though there are ghouls exposed to further radiation without going feral, so that's interesting. There are non-feral ghouls that were born before the Great War. There are feral ghouls born after the Great War. That said, so long as some ghouls can survive 200 plus years without going feral, while others turn fast, there cannot be assumed to be a strict rule of all ghouls turn or are in danger of turning. These were ideas that were popular before the TV series, but now here we are, with a ghoul inhaling some questionable stuff that appears to prevent him from going feral. So again, it just looks like the TV series is trying to answer some of these thoughts and questions gamers had before the TV series. As we have continuously mentioned, the yellow substance prevents a ghoul from going feral. We do not know what it is comprised of, we do not know how long the effects of one vial last, and we do not know the amount needed to keep the ghoul from going feral. There is also the fact that it seems consuming this substance turns you into a ghoul. Case in point, this scene. So does this mean he's a ghoul? Well, Maximus thinks so, and it would appear that he is. Right? With all of that said, it looks like we have what we need to process how Coop lives his day-to-day as a ghoul. It is through the vials and the yellow substance he continues to inhale. Now, we still don't know how it happened, although the easy answer would be that he turned into a ghoul due to his proximity to the nuclear blast. But we do not like easy in this channel, and I love to daydream and make stories up, so strap in. I think he became a ghoul because he was left outside of a vault. Okay. Yeah, that just sounds like close proximity to a nuke. But hold on, let's add to it. Here is what I think went down on that fateful day. He rides off with Janie, only for Vault-Tec to find them. I'm going to say Barb had a tracker on Janie, given she was to be shared in custody between Coop and Barb. We know that the Pip-Boy acquired this new tracking ability when Lucy does the same thing for the scientist's head. Okay, cool. With me so far? Then they fly off with Janie, leaving Coop to fend for himself. Then voila, from this to this. Also, it just means that he turned into a ghoul because he was in close proximity to a nuke. Shut up. I just wanted to share what happened on that day. With all of that said, it seems the answer of how Cooper survived was right before our very eyes, but the method in which he stays sane is the true mystery, and it has yet to be solved. It looks as if even when he's asleep, he needs this fluid to be continuously supplied. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it was designed by Westech, given they had carried out intensive biochemistry research focused on defensive measures, and this could be one of those experiments. Again, I'm just sharing thoughts that come top of mind, so if you don't think so, let me know in the comment section down below. In essence, I believe that ghoulification and the introduction of this yellow substance are closely linked, serving as Bethesda's and the writer's solution to the lingering question some of us gamers had after completing Fallout 4. This may also function as a narrative device for future plot developments. Take for instance Thaddeus, who became a ghoul without his skin rotting. Perhaps he encountered an enhanced variant, or maybe, he's just an early adopter of this substance and it has not yet happened. Additionally, we can't ignore the apparent invincibility displayed. While we can't definitively confirm this, both Cooper and Thaddeus survived mortal injuries and resumed their daily activities as if nothing had occurred. It's just kind of interesting because this substance can be more dangerous because now you have immortal Vault-Tec executives, which would be very, very concerning and scary. And with that, before I go into more crazy delusion, I'm going to put this video to an end. I hope we answered your question about ghoulification and, brought up possible theories about this yellow substance or this thing that's keeping them sane, because I'm very interested to see what it actually is and its full potential. Seeing Thaddeus in Season 2 and potentially seeing other ghouls that may or may not have used this substance and the effects on them long term would be fun to see. If you guys have anything to add, please let me know in the comment section below. I know I get very delusional and daydreamy towards the end of my videos because that's where I want to share my current thoughts and where I'm at with it. So if you have anything you want to share with me and I guess ideas and things I have missed in the other games, please let me know in the comment section down below and let's get talking. Make sure to like and sub for more Fallout lore. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.